Wrath of the Lich King Classic is very close, and yet it feels so far away, because there's so many big things that we should just know about by now. And if we don't know about them in the next couple of days, I'll be starting to get worried. Because in the lead up to TBC, there was some fairly obvious things that was laid out. Some of them were laid out months and months before we even got onto the beta. And some of those things that were laid out for TBC, we still haven't even got confirmation about now, and the PTR is up for the pre-patch. So there's around 10 to 12 things I want to talk about, so I'm going to talk about them relatively fast. So first of all, let me tell you about some key dates. The pre-patch for TBC went live on May the 18th and released 2 weeks later on the 1st of June. 12 days before the pre-patch went live, they announced the Dark Portal Pass. So this was the 6th of May. The perks from this, such as the 58 boost, or the mount, or even the Dark Portal Hearthstone, were all usable during the pre-patch. On the 7th of May, the pre-patch went live on the PTR. We have the pre-patch on the PTR now, but still no announcement about the Northrend Safari Pass. I doubt that's what it's going to be called, but I had to make something up. Now, I know you're just like me, and you're dying to give Blizzard some extra money to be able to get yourself a mount, or a pet, or a toy, or whatever they decide to throw in this package. But the fact that we don't even know about it, yet we know it's definitely coming, because if you cast your mind back, we had a survey asking what we would want in it, and there was a couple of options, option A, option B. One of them had a boost that you could give to a friend. Both the options really were sort of what you would expect. But we've heard absolutely nothing since. And as I say, we knew about these digital deluxe editions before the PTR even went up. So I don't know what that says about when to expect pre-patch, when we haven't even got the boosts or anything like that announced to be able to use in the pre-patch. Now, this next one, you are absolutely going to be spamming the comments saying, oh, but I've already seen the phase layouts, it's on Wowhead, or I've seen it, it's on PC Gamer. Yes, they are, but they're not confirmed by Blizzard. So confirmation from them on what the phases are actually going to look like would be nice. We knew how the phases would roll out months before launch. It was the 19th of February to be precise, when we're talking about TBC Classic. Like I say, I've seen the phase breakdowns myself on Wowhead and PC Gamer, but I personally haven't seen it confirmed by Blizzard anywhere. If you have, a link in the comment would be great, whether it was just a Twitter post or something that I've missed, but I've not seen Blizzard actually say, Phase 1 is Nax, Eye of Eternity, Obsidian Sanctum. We know that's what it's going to be. They have said that that's going to be out at launch, so we know that's going to be Phase 1. But we know Phase 2 is going to be Order. I can sit here and have a guess at what the phases are going to look like, but I've not actually seen it confirmed in the way it was confirmed in TBC. And you're probably like, well, it's not really important because we can just guess exactly what it's going to be and we're probably going to be right. But what about Onyxia? So everybody's assuming that Onyxia is going to be in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and I also believe Onyxia is going to be in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. But they recently re-released the level 60 version, so the level 60 version on the beta at the moment is present, and it's more than likely still going to be present at launch. Now, this is probably purely just so there's a working version of Onyxia before the level 80 version launches. But if you cast your mind back, the only reason Onyxia was actually added to the game in the first place was as an anniversary celebration. It's not an anniversary now. So whilst it was actually part of the content back in Wrath of the Lich King, it wasn't actually part of the tiers. It was just an extra boss that was added, much like later on in the expansions where they actually added Molten Core, and it was a 40-man version of Molten Core tuned for level 100s. Now that was for the 10th anniversary, the way that Onyxia was for the 5th anniversary. So whilst I know it's fairly obvious to most of us that it will be put in the game because it was in the game originally, there's been many things that were in the game originally that are not going to be in the game now, even something as basic as Recruit a Friend, which we all remember Recruit a Friend, and that was out towards the back end of TBC. It would absolutely be a fantastic way for Blizzard to make some money. It could potentially bring new people to the game, and it was just a great, fun way of leveling, even if you was recruiting someone who's already got an account and they started a second account, just so you was getting that triple XP while you was leveling. I feel like Recruit a Friend has been a real missed opportunity for them, actually, and I don't know if it's because of the systems that they would need to put in place, but on the basis that it's normally on retail, I don't know if it's on retail currently, not much of a retail player myself, but I know it's been there as of recent years at least. So just some confirmation that Onyxia is actually going to be in the game and it's going to be part of one of the phases, and they tell us which phase would be lovely. I mentioned about fresh servers in a recent video, the fact that it went dead. We got an announcement that we're getting fresh servers and nothing after that. We have no idea how many servers we're going to get. We've got no idea if there's going to be name reservations. We've got no idea if they're launching globally or they're just going to go live with regular maintenance. We really know very little. And on the basis that when the pre-patch for TBC was on the PTR, it only lasted 12 days, we could be getting very close to pre-patch and these fresh servers, and we just know absolutely nothing about it. And they are potentially losing a lot of activity, a lot of playtime, maybe even subscriptions, which I personally know people who are unsubscribed from WoW currently, just waiting for the fresh servers because they've got nothing to do. I've stayed subscribed, but I could have cancelled for a couple of months, to be honest with you. So they really need to start getting some information out about fresh servers as soon as possible. Now, another one is a system that they really announced themselves and surprised us with, but we've not heard anything about it and some concrete information about how it's going to work or if they are even going to bother pursuing it would be nice. And that's when they spoke about the heroic difficulty of dungeons increasing throughout the phases. Yes, they said that that's something that could happen, and then that's all we heard. We're at the stage now where we're so close to release. These sort of systems, really, they should be maybe not ironed out, because technically they'd have until phase 2 to actually get them right, but they should at least know roughly how they're going to work, and maybe share that with us, the people that pay for the game. I don't know, it's just a thought. Another one comes down to really how soon the pre-patch looks like it's going to be, and that's the in-game quest helper. I know you're all proper top lads, top girls, whatever, and you're using Rested XP, and you probably click the link in the description or the pinned comment to buy it as well, so the channel gets a bit of kickback from it. But so you don't need the in-game quest helper. But if you haven't bought Rested XP, then you're going to need the in-game quest helper, or obviously you can use Questy. But the fact that the in-game quest helper still isn't present on either the PTR or the beta does worry me slightly as we're getting very close. The same applies to queuing for Battlegrounds. In 3.1, you could queue for Battlegrounds no matter where you were, because when you go to the PvP tab, you'll have a second one called Battleground, and you can just join for a specific Battleground or a random Battleground at higher levels. Whereas on the PTR, you can't even queue for a random Battleground because you just get a bug saying join as group failed. Now, I'm hoping it's not intentional that you haven't got the Battleground tab and it's just something they're working on before release, because it's bad enough with no random dungeon finder. Do we really also want to be... Oh, then again, we probably want to savour that social experience of running to a Battle Master and queuing, maybe. I don't know. But overall, we don't know if that's a bug or it's been left out on purpose and they want us to run to the cities to queue, but at least make the queues work. And a big one for every single person watching this video and myself. After loads of feedback from people testing it on the beta, myself included, is the LFG tool fit for purpose? Or can they please just strap on their big boy pants and admit that some form of random dungeon finder is needed, even if it's just 1 to 68 or 1 to 70, and then you can't use Dungeon Finder in Northrend, but give it to us at lower levels at least. But we just don't know. Are they happy with the feedback they're getting on it? Do they need to make any changes to it before launch? Are they willing to make any changes to it before launch? Or do they see it as something that will work once there's a lot more people using it? I actually feel like it's going to get even worse the more people that are using it, personally. And I'm not being negative, please don't take any negative vibes away from this video. This is me genuinely concerned that there's a lot of things that we just don't know about yet. And some of them are quite big things, and we're just getting so close now that we need some answers. But ultimately, the LFG tool is their new baby, even though it's just recycled from retail, mostly. So I really, really hope that they're not just digging their heels in and saying, nope, this is what we're going to use because it will work, when even they've got doubts about it. And another big one that we're so close now, I'm assuming there's not going to be that many changes, but professions. We know leather work in drums went through some extensive changes, and I know we've talked about professions in loads of separate videos, but by changes, I don't mean nerfs. I just mean blacksmithing lacking comparable bonuses with the lack of epic gems until Trial of the Crusader. Are they addressing things like that? Do they feel that engineering is fine? Do they feel that there's anything that they can do with some of the other professions, maybe to bring the lesser professions in line? Blacksmithing is the only one that really springs to mind until Trial of the Crusader. Are the big epic jewel crafting gems going to stay as they are, or are we going to get them in their lesser state? Will we get other professions go through their iteration of patch cycles alongside blacksmithing? So by the time we get to Trial of the Crusader, all of the professions have very, very similar bonuses. I don't know. And it would be something really, really useful to know so we can all start preparing our professions now, rather than starting to prepare our professions now and then things get changed. I know to some of you that's not a big deal, but to the people that take raiding mega seriously, what state the professions are going to be in is quite a big deal, and we don't want them being changed at the last minute. And tied exactly the same to professions, Titan Steel bars. So many people ask me, does it have a cooldown? That doesn't mean start typing in chat now asking me if Titan Steel bars got a cooldown, because you know I'm getting asked it a lot, so maybe don't bother, but you've probably already started now. Now, none of the profession items like the tailoring cloths or the Titan Steel bars have a cooldown on the beta, but they absolutely should, and I'll be shocked if they don't. But it's just another example of something that we need to know. Can we put loads of our ults with mining so we can pump out Titan Steel bars to get our raiders those weapons nice and quick, to be as I expect, and have a 24-hour cooldown? I'm really hoping Blizzard have got a really up-to-date build that they're just minorly testing sort of internally before they deploy it, because at the moment there's so many things that are still broken class-wise as well. It's getting worrying. And do you want me to nitpick about a really minor one that you're going to laugh about? Where's the sparkles? And what I mean by sparkles is quest objectives. You know, where they sparkle to make them easier to see. I'm old. My eyes are not good. As in, I'm going to the opticians next month, actually. I can't see quest items on the floor. Especially when I'm playing on the Steam Deck. How am I meant to see a quest item on there? Blizzard, please give me sparkles. The last one on my list was Recruit a Friend, but I ended up going off script and talking about it already. So, again, let's have Recruit a Friend. It is fun, even though it costs money. But there's so many more. Drake's missing from the Nax achievements, so many class bugs I wouldn't even know where to start. They really have a lot of work to do, as I say, unless they're sat on a build, testing it internally, that's miles ahead of where we are currently. But some of these huge ones, like the deluxe editions, confirmation on phases, Onyxia, getting some fresh server information, we really need it as soon as physically possible. If you knew any of this already, and you're like, how do you not know? Let me know in the comments what you know that I don't. As far as I'm aware, there's not been a great deal of information at all on any of the topics discussed. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, get Rested XP in the description. It's going to help you in the pre-patch, but it's going to help you forever on every character you ever level. So why not? And roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes. Everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name. And you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.